Hello there, World of Tankers. Welcome to the channel. Hopefully all of you are doing well out there. I'm, of course, your host, World of Blitz, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about the T2020 in World of Tanks Blitz, the Tier 8 Russian Premium Heavy that, well, as we know, is not necessarily the fondest of Tier 8 vehicles. Now, in Update 7.5, this received a massive buff, not only to the frontal plate, the side armor, but as well the turret. So I figured, you know what, let's play it, let's see if it's a good vehicle, or if it still deserves to be down in the dumps. And I will say, after playing this tank for quite a bit, I think I played about 5 or so games in it today, the turret armor is not as good as it should be. And it's kind of sad, because when you think about Russian heavies, you got vehicles like the IS-3, the IS-6 Fearless, you know, the Object 252, they all have thick Russian turrets. And that's how Russian vehicles are, is they've got that thick turret armor. When we go and take a look on Microsoft Edge, and we look at Blitzhanger, this is the T2020 before the buff. And you look at the turret, and yeah, 253 is decent until you realize that, wait, all tank destroyers at tier 8 and tier 9 easily go through that, no problem whatsoever. And if you compare that to an IS-5 turret, it's like 500. So this turret is way too weak. And while the upper plate did get a big buff at around 240, 250, it's about 230 as you can see here at this angle. It's not super thick. And the side armor being about 100 on the upper part and about 80 on the lower part. When you take a look at it at 7.5, it's much stronger on the upper plate. Don't get me wrong, 260. It's about a 20 millimeter buff on the upper plate, which makes it a lot stronger, and the side armor got a 20 millimeter buff as well on the lower infrastructure part, and the upper plate at 130 as well is way stronger as well. But the issue again is that turret, it's just not good. It's still only 245, which means that, yeah, most tier 8s can easily just load premium and go right through the turret. As much as it looks like thick spaced armor, it's really close to the turret as you can see, which means that it's not going to bounce heat shells either. So really the turret armor is just quite disappointingly bad in my opinion, and it's really the fall apart of this vehicle. If you see a T2020 rolling out on the battlefield, the best way to take it out in my opinion is just shoot at the turret with premium, and you'll probably go 90% through the time. It's big, boxy, and it has cupolas on the roof as well. I was trying to test the turret armor against an ISU, and well, as you saw, 250, 270 at the highest angle. Yeah, I got penned by the ISU 4 times. He was shooting even APCR, and it just cut through me like butter, and it made me quite depressed. So the turret armor on this tank is not good. It really just, it needs to be better. And I can't urge this enough to Wargaming that a Russian vehicle should have, at least a Russian heavy, should have good turret armor if it's an IS series tank. Now the IS-2 even has, in my opinion, more reliable armor because at least it's troll. This thing, just once you have a base value of around 250 or more, you're going to cut right through it. So that means the SU-130 will cut through me with standard, the RHM will cut through me with heat, the Panther 2 can cut through me with premium, the Object 252 can cut through me with premium, and the IS-5 will cut through me with premium. So we're going to see what we can do here, try and play the tank the best. Now the thing I can say about the turret is that a lot of people don't know that they can penetrate through it, but of course after playing this video, about 20,000 of you might know, which isn't necessarily good, so probably won't run this tank ever again after this. But yeah, we're going to see how it stands up. Hopefully it does pretty well, but yeah, we're going to see. So we got the Tiger P off to the side, Object 252 over here. Right now I can't really do much, I'm just kind of sitting still, and it looks like that Tiger was just shooting at my turret already. Huh. That's not good. But we're just kind of stuck here, aren't we? There's really nothing we can do, and my T... Huh. That's already fantastic, isn't it? Okay, well, don't really know what to do here. I can't really do anything. That's the sad part. We're going to back up, to be fair. This thing has decent reverse speed, I'll give it that, but I'm going to try and pop through this side. We've already lost 2 tier 8 vehicles. That's great. And the enemy team has lost nothing. Not even a tier 7 vehicle. Huh. Oh, gee. Well, there you go. At least they lost a tier 7. Yippee. Haha. Yeah, Blitz being fun, as you can see. So hopefully we're going to be able to do a decent job here. But it looks like we've already lost this game, to be fair. So we got the Tiger P up top, who we might be able to get a shell into. Okay, Tiger, I need to be able to squeeze through here. Yeah, this is just a bad game, isn't it? Huh, okay, well, let's see if we can get a shell into the Tiger P. Aiming and fire. There you go. Nice tap for 402 on his vehicle. And now we got somebody on our side as well. You can see the armor not really working too well again against the Tiger P here. Let's see if we can finish him off. Yes, there you go. Nice shell finishing off the Tiger. And hopefully we're going to do a decent job at threading some shells from the IS-5. There's actually a perfect bounce. Hopefully the Emil gets some big ol' shots into him as well. Let's get a shell from our tank itself. And now let's face hug this guy once again, hopefully getting that nice frontal armor to do the trick. But yeah, heat shells from the IS-5 will easily penetrate right through my frontal armor. Let's back up here, load an HE shell, and hello, comrade, finishing him off quite easily. There's a nice bounce though from the Panther. So, as you can see, the turret armor does work. Like, it will do the trick. Now, I am quite stuck here, which is, well, it's a bit of an issue. I can't really make my way up, which, yeah, not necessarily the best. But, well, we're trying to do everything we can. We got the SU-30 who just got a big chunker of a shell into my teammate. Let's get a shell into the Panther too. See if we can help out our team there at least a little bit. Let's back up. Oh, no, our Panther just finished off him. Let's back up here, see if we can get some shells into the Panther. Come on, and reload, reload. There you go. Nice shot into the Panther. I'm just going to keep sitting here and seeing if we can get some shells into the Panther. He's trying to shoot my teammate, and I'll give him credit. He's doing a decent job at it. I really can't save my teammates, but yeah, this is not good. Okay, well, let's try and get a big chonker. Nope, not a big chonker of a shell into him. And, well, you can see that while the tank didn't do bad, like, it did its job. Our team, well, this is Blitz for you. I can say that the teams in Blitz nowadays have been some of the worst teams I've ever had. They just fall apart immediately, which is, you know, quite sad to say none the least, but I'm trying to do my best, of course. We're going to see if we can get a big shell into the Panther. There you go. Nice shell going right into his frontal armor. We got the RHM up top, and there's the SU getting a big shell in my back. But because the SU-30 is behind me, that means that I now know that I can finish off the Panther with a big shell there, and hopefully the RHM will bounce me. But as you can see, he went right through that quarter panel. So we did a good job. We did 2,600 damage, and I did the best the tank could, of course, give me. Like, we actually did a decent last stand, but sadly, as you know, yeah, Blitz teams nowadays aren't the best. And the T-2020, you saw the strengths and the weaknesses. I didn't really get shot in the turret, so because of that, the upper plate did bounce a shell from the IS-5. I got some bounces from the Panther. It did its job bouncing some shells. We actually bounced 4 out of the 10 shells we received, which is almost about 50% ricochets. So the armor works on the vehicle, and while we didn't necessarily get the best victory because, well, yeah, just big sad moment there, the tank did the best it could. And I give it credit, but you didn't see what happens when people shoot at the turret, which is the biggest issue I find with it. So again, this game here, we're up against tier 7. So the Dracula and the T-71 are going to struggle to penetrate me immensely. Same for the Black Prince. The Luva, though, will cut right through that upper plate, no problem. The ISU, as I said, it is actually the biggest threat out of every tank on the enemy team because it makes my turret armor absolutely pointless. So ISU I have to be just crazily scared of. We've also got the IS-3 and the Chimera, so a lot of vehicles on the enemy team that are quite deadly, especially the Chimera as well. Its premium is quite good, but I can occasionally bounce shells on the upper plate. You can see that the lower plate on this tank is something that I do like, it being very, very small. Now, the issue, another issue with this tank, should I say, is the mobility. Only going 20 kilometers per hour on, you know, a little bit of uneven terrain, not necessarily the best. It's just a worse IS-5 on power-to-weight ratio. So far, you're just hearing kind of good things and bad things. It's got a mix. And that's kind of how I always rated the vehicle, is a mix of good and bad. Like, you saw that shell went right through my frontal armor, like, no problem. And the Chimera just outrolled me like 5 times to 1 there. Big sad. But you know what? Nah, this Chimera, he not getting away. Well, I guess he is, actually. I thought he was going to stay tracked a little bit longer. But nonetheless, yeah, that Chimera, he learned his lesson. I kind of figured I'd be penned, but it was worth it, in my opinion, to get that shell into him, making him not too healthy of a tank anymore. So, judging that the enemy team has already spotted 2 tanks over to where the Annihilator is, that means that their whole team is probably going to be pushing there. So, I'm going to see what we can do. It doesn't seem like anybody's as far back as the LTTB. So, just where this Chimera's at, let's see if we can get some big old chonking shells into maybe the ISU using our gun depression. Here we go. There's the enemy ISU, and, well, we're not going to be able to get a shell into him, but there you go. Nice shot into the Luva, and that was a 405 damage shell. Oh, God, that ISU just got a lot of HP taken off of him. 4 more seconds, we'll be able to get 1 more shell out, maybe into this yeah, I was about to say ISU, but of course that's not an ISU, that is a Luva. So aiming, and fire, there you go, another nice shot for 428. So this game seems to be a lot better. The team's doing their job, the enemy team's already fallen apart, they've lost 3 vehicles. So this game, it's actually working well, which is, surprising to say nonetheless. But, oh, there you go. Nice tap right into the Black Prince. I will say I kind of expected the Black Prince to pen me. He probably went right through our spaced armor on the sides. It makes sense, of course, because I wasn't really angling it. I kind of just wanted to, to shoot into the enemy there so we could at least take him out. And now we should be able to get a shell maybe into the Black Prince. Well, we're not actually going to be able to, I guess. Okay, so we got the Dracula off to the side. There's only 2 tanks left on the enemy team. And as you can see, this team just did a way better job focus firing, taking out the enemy tank. So let's get a nice snap into the Dracula, put on our adrenaline here, see if we can get some shells into the IS-3 as well, breaking that 2,000 damage barrier, hopefully. Now, I can say one thing. This is a heavy vehicle, and that means that we can get a big ol' ram, 130 damage there into the IS-3. And this wasn't a bad game. As you can see, we did our job. We bounced again, a couple shells. It did okay. So I do think that the T-2020 is not a bad vehicle anymore. The turret armor struggles, as you saw, and especially on the Armor Inspector, it will struggle against Tier 8 vehicles. But on the other hand, it does a good job on ricocheting shells, knowing what to do. So personally, I'm happy that Wargaming buffed the vehicle. It still needs a turret buff in my opinion, but it's in the right place. It bounces shells on the upper plate, and I think it's just as playable as any other Russian Tier 8 heavy. So hopefully you enjoyed today's video. As always, if you did, please consider smashing that subscribe button down below, as it helps out the channel a crazy, crazy amount. But other than that, hopefully all of you are doing well out there. Let's see if I get Green Mamba. No! Hopefully all of you are doing well out there, though. Stay happy, stay healthy, and to be seeing you in the next one.